This is 7:05 p.m. This is yours truly, Jhammaster J. I'm here to give you a different presentation of a YouTube series that I would like to introduce called The Love Story. And this is volume 1 of the love stories. Now, in these series, you're not necessarily going to see links because this is my personal life. You know, I'll throw a joke here and there, but you're not going to hear a lot of references or anything like that. You're not going to see links. The only thing you'll probably see are, obviously my pages that you can follow me on in social media. And the first thing I will tell you is to like, subscribe, and follow, of course. But without further ado, let me start off this series. This series is a therapeutic way of pretty much reflecting. And I want a lot of people to understand this because, let's just say, with my first video, because obviously it's a love series, so at my first video, it's a topic involving a lot of women, and let's just say a few people got in their feelings about the episode. A few people in my personal life. Yeah, good news indeed. But here's the thing. I said it before, and I don't know why people I'm assuming people didn't pay attention to the video, but I've said this during the beginning. If they felt like this was a place out of anger and frustration, it's really out of a place that I didn't give a fuck. And clearly they didn't get the point. And it's not one person, it's a few people. Some people have a right to be upset. They called and, gave their side of the story. And, to those people, I still wish you understood I wasn't mad, but, I understood why you said what you said, and I accepted it. At least you had a reason to clear yourself up, so I give you credit for that. But for other people who I kind of knew why I said it, you watch the video, you know what I mean? Who cares, I said what I said, and I don't take it back. Even the people that cleared themselves out, and I give them respect for doing it. I told them, I'm still not taking that video down. But you get more, but I did apologize as far as representing these certain people in a bad light. But I said what I thought I felt, and, I mean, if you see, there's nothing I could really say. I thought I said what I said, so, oh well. But we can dwell on the past for so many eons, but I think now's the time to really get to the story. Now, these volumes are going to be in separate timelines, so don't expect a chronological order. It also gets pretty boring if I do it that way. It's more fun if I randomize it, so without further ado, I want to mention a woman, and I have to say her name. Once again, this is not a purpose, not trying to slander, defame her character, you know what I mean? The purpose is to just say what was going on, and I gotta express it. But I'm gonna express it the best way I can express it. Only one person's name will be mentioned. Anyone else, they don't matter. They'll still get a talking to outside. There's a woman by the name of Cheyenne DiMaggio. for a long time, I have had deep, 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 deep resentment for this woman. At least until 2014, when I felt like I needed to do what was needed to be done. And that was confront the woman and tell her how I felt. Afterwards, after 2014, 3 years went by and not really an issue to me anymore. It's not something I really think about anymore. But the memory does come back a little, I still get a bad memory from it, but, I've actually let go, and it is what it is. But this is April 25th, 2017, and 10 years ago, I was pretty much given, more than 10 years ago, I was given not good news, but a kind of rejection, just defamation to my own character. I just felt like this woman tore me apart. I felt like she did. The rejection seemed that way. And for the longest, it was a time period that really screwed me over. And I feel like I should explain this to the world. So if this video is within an hour, so this is only for people that want to know. Now, during this time, before I asked this girl out, I asked out a lot of girls in middle school. This was in middle school. I asked out a lot of girls. I was never really into girls the way I was into girls until, I'd like to say, I had a relationship with a girl back in pre-K. Yeah, not necessarily a relationship, but we were so close it felt like one. Until the girl eventually moved out of school. That's another story for another time. Then I had a crush on someone in first grade, and then I never saw them afterwards. We eventually went to other places. And I had a crush on a girl in 5th grade. But after that, 6th grade, I had a crush, but I never acted on it because earlier than that, I felt like I was doing something wrong. So I thought girls were pretty. Yeah, I know, I'm not gay. I thought girls were pretty, it's just I wasn't really into girls like that. Or I didn't know how to express myself to girls up until 7th grade. 7th grade, I asked out a girl named Kristen Bennett for the first time. Yes. And I got, rejected. I felt bad, but I eventually moved on because I just wanted to be her friend. I became friends with a lot of girls, I became friends with so many girls, so many people, and I've asked out so many girls all throughout my 7th grade year. To be rejected, but to feel bad. But when I felt bad, I got rejected, I never pressed the issue again. I was done. I was over with. I was, I knew what the answer was, and I walked away like a proud man. I just asked out so many girl after girl after girl after girl, to the point where I was tired of being rejected. I was tired of the same answer. And this was during the time where I saw all these couples back in middle school. I was young. These people holding hands, kissing together. A friend of my brother gave a girlfriend of his flowers during the middle of middle school. They became that it couple. They like, I was so insecure about myself because I wanted that couple. Was it for the attention? Of course. Of course. I'm not going to lie to you and say it wasn't. But that was a felicitation. The attention really was what I wanted to do to the girl. I just wanted to treat this girl so well, whoever it was. To the point where now I started to become desperate. I literally would tell them I'm desperate. I would literally beg these people. Now, if I'm told no, I would proudly move on. Because what's the point if I'm not hearing it from them? You know? What's the point if I'm hearing this from them? They're not interested. I don't want to waste my time being around people that don't like me. I'd rather waste my time being around people that don't like me. Or I'd rather waste my time being around people that I feel like I have a chance. And if I'd have a chance, I want to see how it goes. At the end of the day, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like I was confident. You know, but every time I was tired. And then my brother made fun of me. Sorry Lawrence. Don't mean to put you out like that. Like, everyone was making fun of me for not having a girlfriend. And I was tired of being the butt of the joke of not having a girlfriend. Which sucks, because when it comes to public schools and schooling in general, it's not a competition. People go to school to learn. You go to school to get an education. Yeah, the public education system is crap. That's what college is for. Education. It's not here to build relationships, wear the fanciest clothes, show off in front of all these people. That's not what it was supposed to be. But I never saw it that way. I saw it as competition. I saw it as a low-key competition. At the end of the day, I wanted to be liked just like everyone else. And it's weird. Weirdly enough, I haven't even lost my virginity until I was 20. I'm 24 now. 22, 21. Which really sucked. Like at school, I was so uncool. Not because I just randomly asked people out, but also the classes I was placed in. Obviously, I don't work. I don't have a job to earn money. I don't get an allowance. My parents I always wear hand-me-down clothes. I wasn't broke, but my mom wasn't really, during the economy that we were going through, my mom wouldn't focus on giving me the best clothes. I never wore the best clothes in school anyway. Never wore the best shoes. My brother just knew how to wear clothes better than me for some strange reason. I don't know why. But, through this whole situation, I am so unconfident in myself. Of all these girls that are rejecting me, like every week, every day I'm asking a girl out. I'm asking a girl out. And this goes into Cheyenne DiMaggio. This was the first day in school. I have gym class for second period at the time. And I would see Cheyenne DiMaggio. Let me tell you something. You want to talk about a pretty woman. You want to talk about a pretty woman. I am telling you, when I saw her on the bleachers, I thought this woman had the look of an angel. An angel. She was so beautiful, but I never acted on it. And I see her with this, going out with a guy that I had class with, you know, like she was, I wanted to go out with. It's like looking at one of the popular kids. My eyes were just so mesmerized and just, oh my god. You know? And I'm just like starstruck in a way. So a week after, she ends up breaking up with a fellow classmate of mine. I want to ask this girl out. This was the beginning of school. It's like the weekend. I wrote a love letter to this girl. I wrote everything. Not a love letter, but I wrote a letter asking her out. I wrote everything. I wrote a heart. I was so animated. I was trying to be funny. I got a lot of cartoon influences. I remember I can honestly tell you, on a sheet of paper, I wrote, but I tried to emulate a scene from Billy and Mandy. There was an episode where they were making fun of the Keebler elves for the cookies, and it was like the elves versus the pilgrim versus the gnomes. Billy was doing some mushrooms with the elves, and they were going to war with each other. In the middle of the scene, Billy's over here having this analogy on peas and mashed potatoes, and he gets into the speech, and in the middle of the speech he goes, but I took that scene, took that word, and I wrote it all. I put but all over that line of paper. That first line, I put but with a bunch of U's. I think I did it twice, once or twice, but whatever the case was, I did it and I kept going. I wanted to be funny. I wanted to be entertaining at the same time. I wrote a heart. I wrote everything. And then what ended up happening was, a year prior, this was my 8th grade year, when I was still asking girls out. This is my 8th grade year. The year prior to this, I was hiding a bunch of love letters from my brother. Because my brother read one, got in his feelings, as if my brother might be watching this, so I don't want to tear him down or, insult him. But, my brother, be upset with me for asking girls out. But my brother, I don't want to say he never taught me. He did. And I'm not saying this because he might be watching. I'm saying he taught me in 6th grade, but he never really helped me, because some of the things he would just tell me, he never let me practice them. He never introduced me to his friends that were girls. He never, the way he was doing it, he wanted me to do it his way. And I've learned in life, you never do things people. You can learn and adapt to certain things, but you'll never do things exactly like people do. They have their own style. Everybody has their own style. Even if it's copied, there's always a twist to it. There's always a spin on it. And I felt like I had my own spin on things. And I thought this was my spin. This is who I was at the time. I, was trying to be so funny, and I hid the note. And I cover the note up, but when I would unread it, I knew it would be crumpled. So I had to redo it because I knew if my brother were to read that, he would be pissed off at me. So, September 18, 2006, before the bus, I had to get up early just so I'd spend time writing this note. And that's exactly what I did. I wrote the note, I reviewed it, and I was ready. When I see this girl, I'm going to give it to her. And I'm looking at myself as I read this like, thumbs up, buddy. It was so, I was so happy. Like, I thought, it just, everything was like, this would be a bright idea, for me. Good news indeed. So I go to school, waiting anxiously, finding everywhere so I can see this girl, and I can see Cheyenne and give her the note. I want to be happy. I want her to read it. I want her to feel the emotion. I was anticipating it. Like, yeah, I can't wait. I want her to see this. I want this girl to see what I gotta say. So I come to her, I see her, and I give her the note. 5 minutes when I see her, I would ask her, because I usually get my notes back at the end of the day. Didn't get it from her. She forgot to write it. The next day I asked her, she forgot to write it. So I'm over here trying to get this girl's attention, like, hey, why don't you just But I never got a chance to get to her because she was trying to avoid me, from what I've understood. So I gave up. So the next day, I come to her, and I get the note. And I would get the biggest lesson in my entire life when I was reading this note. I didn't read this note. At first, when I got this note, boy, let me tell you something. I was jumping. I was happy. I was like, bam, here's the note that I have, and I'm ready. The confettis are flying. I'm thinking, I'm going to get the girl, and she's going to say yes to me. And I'm thinking, this is great. This is great. Now, the middle school I went to, Jefferson Davis Middle School, Jacksonville, Florida. And this is September 20th, 2006. Close to 11 years that this happened. I get a note. I give it to my friend Joey. Joseph Wolf. If you're reading this, man, congrats on your boy, man. Your wife, posts all the time. She's been great. Joseph Wolf was a really good friend of mine in 8th grade. We became really close when we got to know each other. I give him the note that Cheyenne reads, and he reads it. Now I'm just like pumping for joy, hoping she says yes. Finally, I'll get a girlfriend in my life. I'm gonna be happy. I'm jumping for joy. This is something that I can't wait to do. I'm just like so happy. My friend Joseph, reads this note. He reads this note. Then he taps me on the shoulder. And he says, Jhamil, I want you to read this note. Now me, I didn't want to read the note. Why? Because I wanted to read it in the next day. Great news indeed was rolling through my head. I want to read this at the end of the day. Not the next day, the end of the day. I was anticipating. I was ready. I was like, let's go. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to read this. I don't want to read it now. I want to read it later. I always read what would turn out to be rejection notes at the end of the day. But my friend Joey looked at me and he's like, no, I want you to read this now. I'm like, no, I want to read it. I want to read it. He's like, no, I want you to read this now. And I'm like, no, I'm thinking. And he's like, Jhamil, read this right now. So at the time, thinking he's ruining all my stuff, he's ruining my fun, I'm like, man, I'll read it. I'm mad at you. I'll be mad at you because you make me read this. No, I didn't want to read it. I read the note. I read the note. I read the note. I read every letter. I read every word. I read every sentence. Now is not the time to be funny, Professor Farnsworth. I read every paragraph. And I read the note. I read the whole note. The first sentence said, first off, you spelt my name wrong. It's spelled this way. Second off, how do you know my name? And from then on there, every word were, I'm gonna steal a phrase from my buddy Jamaican Gamer. By the way, let's parentheses this to next side note. Jamaican Gamer has freed up his schedule a little bit, so hopefully I can get this man to do some more editing for my unpopular videos. Once again, check out his channel. It's also known as Jamal Williams, J Boy for life. You know, JBWOY for life. That's his YouTube channel, and hopefully he'll be back to make my videos, you know, or help me make my videos. But back to our topic. I'm gonna take a term he used once. Her words, Cheyenne DiMaggio's words, were like daggers. They were daggers. There was a girl I liked in 5th grade who I will, you know, another love story for another time. But and you know what? In the middle of this series, I'm going to change the title. I just had an idea. Cue the flashlight. Instead of calling it the love stories, I'm going to call it the Heartbreak Kid stories. And you will see that a lot. Anyway, you know, I talked, getting back to the story because I'm spacing out here. The girl I ever actually told I liked said some things to me. Said why she didn't like me. But the thing about it was, when this girl rejected me, it just seemed like I was in denial. Like I didn't care. I liked this girl. She's just... And I was young at the time. I was a young kid, naive. Cheyenne, this one was different. I was older. My thoughts are a lot more different. when I read everything she said. Now, this girl doesn't like black men. I never had an issue with it. Hey, you like who you like. You know, during the time I didn't like black women. I'm not mad at that. She wants to keep it within her race. She has every right to do so. But there are a lot of other things she said disturbing to me. She ripped down my character without being specific. She ripped down my character. This girl called me a stalker, which, I gave her a reason, but they were not intended to be bad. I just wanted her attention. All she had to do was give it to me, This girl ripped apart the fact that, I tried to make her feel bad, so I also deserved that. It was the fact that because she said so much to me, it hurt me. It hurt me. I was hurt. I was hurt. I was really hurt. You don't know how hurt I was. I mean, I was hurt. And I was hurt badly. And anyone watching YouTube, the 2 or 3 people watching, that includes you, Jamaican Gamer. I don't want people to feel sorry for me, I knew what I was going into. This girl threatened to slap me if I ever talked to her again. Scared me shitless. I felt alone, I felt defeated, and I felt scared. To the point where, because of that note, it changed my formula on asking girls out. As a matter of fact, because of what that note said, I was very unconfident anymore. I was unconfident. I lost confidence in myself because I was afraid of getting that same rejection. But I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to give up getting hurt. But shit happens, Whatever. Take the L. I was willing to take the L. It's not like that. When she rejected me terribly, it was not to hurt. It was not to hold anything against her. I had nothing against this woman. I had nothing against this woman at all whatsoever. I knew what I was going for, and that was fine. And because Joey warned me to read this, because if I just waited all the way until the day, it would have ruined my day. I would have went home, maybe not cry, but I would have felt empty inside. And that's something that has become a big problem, I guess it was a hard pill to swallow, but I got rejected. And the next day, my brother, the biggest mistake was giving the note to my brother's friend, and my brother's friend telling my brother about it, because my brother didn't help. My brother made it seem like it was my fault. Or at least, my brother made it feel like I deserved to be cussed out. Maybe I did, but my brother needed to understand. I'm a young kid, and sure, I was young, but I felt alone, because mentally, I was tormented and abused by a lot of people in my life that I wanted to find space and closure in a relationship. I mean, my brother was in a ton of relationships, talking to a ton of girls. I wanted to be in that. because I wanted to handle the stress of being bullied and abused. But, you know, it was an issue for me. And I never, never got to experience that. So I wouldn't say that my brother was bad for trying to tell me something, but it's just the way my brother was trying to tell me about it. It was from a place that he couldn't understand. Now, I'm not going to say he doesn't understand about being rejected by girls, because he's told me he had issues with girls before. But it was coming from a place where I would at least wanted to be in his shoes and talk and socialize with people, have a relationship with girls where I can agree with him. But I don't have that platform to do that because I am an outcast in school. I was an outcast in middle school especially, and only had a handful of friends. And the people that I thought were my friends were only using me or disgusted with me. You know, and what ended up treating me like crap. Yes, Jordan Fluker, I'm talking about you. And yeah, good news. Good news for you. But he never understood that I was in pain. And that was a lesson I had to learn. The problem was afterwards. I'm going to say 3 people's names. 4 people's names. Zachary Fedorov, Rafael Rodriguez, Heidi Busher, known as DiMaggio at the time, but she remarried, and Ryan Harsfield. I want everyone to pay attention to those names. I had reading class with Zachary Fedorov and Rafael Rodriguez. Rafael read the note. A bunch of people read the note. A bunch of my friends read the note. But Rafael read the note and said, "We're going to get her back for you." He wrote a note threatening her and going in on her. And Zachary Fedorov co-signed it. Here's the thing. And I want a lot of people to understand this. And this is what made me mad this year. I did not co-sign this at all. Because people need to understand that you got rejected. Move on. Don't give these people a reason to be right that they rejected you. I didn't want to give Cheyenne a reason that she was right. I wanted to move on. I wanted to be over. And also, her mom was Heidi Busher. You know, hence the last name DiMaggio. That was her stepmother. And I know Miss Heidi, who was the guidance counselor, the guidance counselor of the 8th graders. I knew she, a very, very, very cool woman, but she would be on the front line for her kids. You know, she loves her kids. Unfortunately, she suffered a loss. Not gonna get into detailed. Out of respect for her, she suffered a loss, and you can tell she really cared about her family. This woman cares about the family that was in the past, there, whatever the case is. This woman cared. So I knew if I was going to, I knew first and foremost going at her would be a mistake because I'm going at Miss Heidi, and I was so cool with her. I had no problem with her, and I knew it would be an issue. And I'm trying to get these girls and let them know, hey, is Shan here? Because I'm trying to warn Shan. I'm trying to warn her that there's a note from me that's going to rip her apart. I wrote a note. I did everything. Me and my friends were trying to intercept and make sure, give her a warning that something bad was going to happen. my note never reached it. Raphael gave the note to Zachary Fedorov, who was in on this. But I wanted nothing. I didn't want, him to see it. I didn't want Cheyenne to see it. Because I knew I was going to go into a territory that I was not welcome to be in. Monday goes by. Monday goes by, and I'm having fun in reading class or whatever, the class everyone is. Before that, I'm at gym. Zachary Fedorov comes in and punches me in the chest, saying that's for attacking my girlfriend. I said, what? Okay, what? What? What's going on here? Okay, I just moved on myself, moved on my business, and just kept it moving like it didn't affect me. I get called to the office in reading class. When Miss DiMaggio saw me, she didn't yank me, but she's like, come over here, I know what you were doing. I said to myself, I knew it. I knew this was happening. Miss Heidi was so mad. And I'm begging and pleading and saying it's not me. But she doesn't believe me because she can understand my handwriting. And I'm begging this woman like, I didn't do this. It's not me. I didn't do this. Like, I was hurt. By the situation. She didn't want to believe me. She didn't want to believe me. And it's worth. A police officer wants to talk to me over some petty bullshit, as if I didn't have a misdemeanor charge on my belt that I didn't do. Yeah, I made double negative, but I'm moving out here that I was already accused of not doing anyway, that my mom is already getting sued over some stupid ness, and yet there's another crime I'm being accused of not being a part of. It's bad enough my mom doesn't believe me for the other crime that I was falsely accused of, but now this one bores me down. I'm telling the cop that I didn't do it. I got evidence to prove that handwriting and my handwriting were not the same, and he read the handwriting paper. And I know, you know your own handwriting, and it's clear that they did not look the same. And the cop's over here telling me what's going on, and I said, he's like, so what's going on? And I'm like, well, they don't look alike. And he's like, yeah, they do. I'm like, what? The cop, back then I didn't get it, but when I look at the stuff now, you knew racial tension was at an all-time. You just knew. I knew right then and there I was being racially profiled. Not by Miss Heidi, but that cop. And when I think about that, I think about this meme that rose into my head where Black Twitter made a meme. It was a picture of a white guy or a cop's face, and it's all bland. And it says, when you tell the cop your story, but you're going to jail anyway. That was his face. And real quick, I got something to say to the cop. You. I'm not going to wish anything bad on you. And you should be happy because this is good news for you. I'm not going to wish anything bad on you because it's far beyond me to do that. But I want you to know something. And I want you to know something well. I hope you're happy that you did that. 11 years ago. Close to 11 years ago. 10 plus years ago. I hope you are happy doing that. I don't know your name, and you better be glad I don't know your name, because I would put your name out there. But then again, I'm not here to villainize you, to deface you. I'm letting you know. I hope you're happy. I hope you're very happy. And I know you're not watching this, but if this ever surfaces one day in the near future, you could be dead right now, or your family sees this, I really, really hope you're happy that you did what you did. There was a guy by the name of Ryan Harsfield who was there and trying to read the note, and Miss Heidi's like, don't read it. I don't want nobody getting hurt, and I don't want nobody getting suspended. I was mad. I told him it was a guy named Rafael Rodriguez. She calls Rafael Rodriguez to the office. Rafael Rodriguez denies the story. I was angry. I was angry. I was angry. I was pissed off. I felt betrayed. I pretty much, she's like, I don't want to see stuff like this again. But she won't see stuff like this because I'm not that guy to be that bitter. Or at least at the time. Miss Heidi didn't understand what was going on. And I have nothing against Miss Heidi. I have nothing against her. I'm not mad at her. I'm not even mad at her right now. I want to have a conversation to clear this up. Even if she does get mad, I will get into it. I want to have a conversation with Miss Heidi about this. But this goes back to, this goes back to me, like, I don't want to do this and that. I'm like, okay, I go to class, I'm so mad, I'm angry, I'm blaming Raphael, I'm having this conversation, I feel betrayed, and then Zachary Fedorov stares at me and says, well, see, that's why I hit you. Referring to him punching me in the chest, because you talked down about my girlfriend. And I said to myself, you are the biggest sellout in the world. You, Zachary Fedorov. You're the biggest sellout. And I heard about the stuff that they put you through in 8th grade. I heard all about that. But you were just a pawn. Because your relationship with Cheyenne didn't work anyway. But I'm going to have a conversation with you later on too. And I hope you see this video. I will personally slide it down your PM, because I know you have a Facebook and I know you're going to read this. But back to what I was saying. That hurt me. That hurt me deeply. And it's hard to really bring it back up because it still hurts. The past still hurts. I'm able to move on from it. Then after reading class, I'm telling my friends what's going on. Zachary rolls by like, you should never wrote the note, with his girlfriend Cheyenne on the side like, ha ha, look at you. And then Ryan Hartsfield comes and says, hey, look, if you see any more notes, if you do any more notes like that, and I'm just like, I was hurt. I was betrayed. I was in pain. I'm not mad at Ryan Hartsfield for making that. because I felt like he did what he had to do. Once again, it's like Miss DiMaggio. It was just natural instinct. They don't know the whole side of the story, and I don't expect them to. Because after Fedorov and Rafael Rodriguez, I was really disgusted. Yeah, so that was some birthday present I got that day, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, good news, right? Yeah, you know. Wait. Y'all didn't know that was on my. Y'all didn't know that Monday. Y'all didn't know that was my birthday. Y'all didn't know that happened on September 25th, 2006, my 14th birthday. Wow. So, yeah, this is awkward. Yeah, and I had to cope with it in a way that I can't really make public at the moment because I don't feel like I'm ready, but I had to cope with it, and I wasn't proud of it, but that was it, right? Oh no. It got worse after that. And that will be part 1 of the Heartbreak Kid series. I'm going to take a brief intermission and I'll upload part 2 of the Heartbreak Kid series.